Welcome to Use Frank Talk with Snow. Here I give advice and talk about mental health, life experiences, relationships, as well as controversial topics. On today's episode, I will be giving us those red flags that men exhibit on the first date that turn women completely off. When it comes to dating or getting to know someone we fancy better, we tend to give our best impressions, like to portray our best selves. But when it comes to first impressions, I think some of us might need a little grooming in the floor department. So today I'll be focusing on men. There are just some things you men do on the first days that just doesn't sit right with us women. Like it gives us a bad impression and gets us to want to take for the hills completely. Never to be seen again in the same environment with you. I'll also be letting you know what goes on in our heads when you exhibit these red flags and what to do instead, just in case. Please stay glued. The first date red flag men exhibit that turn women off has got to be tagging your friend or friends along, like your buddies along. We know you men hate it when we string our friends along on the first date, but guess what? We hate it more. But since this episode is about men, we'll be focusing on men here, okay? Just men. We women absolutely detest it when you show up on the first date and bring a bunch of your guys or buddies along. This is supposed to be a date, a one-on-one date, not a triangle date or something. So where's the room for getting to know each other better when there's a third party? It just doesn't make sense. Your friend being there would definitely disrupt the process. So if this is you, please stop. Women hate it. Okay, do this instead. Go solo, at least on the first date, so you can completely focus on your dates and get to know each other better. First date red flag number 2, being rude to the waiter. Oh no, this is another no-brainer. I remember one time I was in a date and this dude was being unnecessarily rude to the waiter, and it was really uncomfortable for me. I was actually low-key embarrassed. I couldn't wait to leave. It's really bad because what goes on in our head is, are you going to treat us the same way? Eventually, just see you as a conceited person. You might be nice now, but you might not be nice later. So that's just what we're thinking about. Try to maintain a sense of cordiality and maturity, please, when you are dressed or talk to people serving you. It's very important, please. Don't exhibit rudeness. The waiter, it's terrible. First date, red flag number 3, bringing up your ex. I don't see any reason you're meeting somebody probably for the first time and you're wanting to have a one-on-one conversation with them and you're bringing up the past. No matter how rosy or spicy, or maybe you want to point out a particular reference to something, I don't know. I think it's even worse when you tag them crazy. Don't do that, please. It's off. It has nothing to do with the date. Don't do that, men, please. Don't do that. It turns women off. Don't bring up your ex on the first date. You need to just wait to have a second or third date or something like that before you can bring up stuff like that. So yeah, just do this instead. Focus on the dates, focus on your interaction with your dates and getting to know your dates. Ask them questions about their upbringing, stuffs about them. What are your likes, dislikes, Please don't bring up your ex. It's terrible. First date's red flag number 4 has got to be bringing up your assets, the things you have, the things you own. Oh, my goodness. No, that's wrong. Like, don't talk about the cars you have or the number of houses you have somewhere in Ikoyi. Don't do that on the first date. Nobody asked you. I can remember one date I went on and the guy was actually showing me his account balance. Why would you do that? Why are you showing me your account balance, trying to explain to me how good your job is and how much you're being paid? This is a first date. Like, don't need all those details. Don't do that, please. Just keep that part because the girl is going to feel like you're trying to woo her with the things you have, and that's not authentic. That doesn't seem authentic to women. It's a red flag. We don't like that. Don't do that, please. Don't. First date red flag number 5 has to be being too touchy. Please don't be too touchy with your date. Like when you're on the first date with someone and you're trying to touch her, everywhere. Don't be touchy. It's a red flag, please. Just keep your distance. It's the first date, so if you're being touchy, it's just giving weird vibes. Like, do you touch every single person you're on the first date with? Like, that's weird. So please keep your hands to yourself and just be as civil as you can, okay? First date red flag number 6. I think this should have been number 1, even though this can be pardoned. but let's say you're showing up in a sportswear, you're showing up looking like you're coming from the gym. It's a date. You're supposed to dress well, you're supposed to dress ready to meet your date. But you're showing up looking so casual, wearing hoodie or sweatpants. It's ridiculous. We hate it. That's bad. Red flag number 6 has got to be being on the phone for too long, probably on a call or being on your phone. That's completely childish. First of all, like why did you even come out? Why are you outside? If you're going to be on your phone the entire time, that's actually disgusting. That's disgusting. So any grown woman that like took out time from her busy schedule to sit with you in a room to get to know you, and you're busy getting to know your phone better, you're definitely not going to hear back from her. Again, that's totally off. Please don't do that. It's a date, and this goes both ways, but like I said, we're talking about the men on this episode, so just keep your phone away and concentrate on your date. Please take your phone out of the equation. No matter how awkward, no matter how much you kind of like attracted to the person or whatever, just show that sign of courtesy or cordiality and just focus on your date, please. First date red flag number 7 has got to be expecting too much too soon. Like you're on a first date with a lady and a conversation gradually turns to sex. Like you're talking about sex. Really? If you wanted something like that, I'm betting there are people who get paid for stuff like that. So why would you sit down with someone on a date and you're talking about her coming to your place? Stuff like that sounds very, very irritating to the ears. You're being too pushy, you're being too fast. Calm down, okay? That is a red flag. You're talking about sex on the first date. That is disgusting. Like you're not going to hear from her again. And some people wonder like, what happened when she stopped talking to me? Don't do that. Please, just be civil. How many times do I have to say this? Be civil, please, 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 please. And so finally, first date red flag number 8, which is the final tip I'll be giving you guys, will have to be being considered with the conversation. Like the stories you're telling her, the things you're saying about yourself doesn't match. You're contradicting yourself. It's giving liar vibes. Like, why are you saying one thing now and then saying something else the next minute? Your stories are not matching up. That's a red flag because it's giving us the vibe that you're a dishonest person. You're not being honest about who you are or what you're saying. So that's a red flag to spot actually. We spot all those little tiny white lies in your story. Like just be honest and be yourself. Be authentic. That's just the long and short of the story. Be authentic. You don't have to say things that didn't happen. I have friends who have told me that they went on a date with this girl that they like and they didn't get the same vibes from her again. Like that first impression must have been what ruined the entire plan for the friendship or whatever. So guys, please, next time when you're going on a date with your crush or someone you fancy or someone you want to start something with, take note of these things, and I will see you on the next episode.